Check one.
For months, we have been trying to get the make and model. So I saw the release from Medical Technologies Limited that came out yesterday. And it is like a heavy burden has been lifted off my chest. You see, for months, we have been trying to get the make and model of this drill. We've asked Sarah repeatedly, my colleague in the Senate, Senator Lambert Brown, has been raising this issue repeatedly. What type of drill could cost $31 million? All the answers that we got just pointed to, it's a highly advanced drill, it's the first of its kind, and don't focus on the cost, focus on the benefits. I had a meeting with Sarah, the model number was kept from me. We went as far as to check all the customs records for this company, Medical Technologies Limited, and only 3 drills were brought in, 1 from China, 2 that we presented at the press conference, but we still could not get any response. We had persons on the ground trying to check on the drill to see exactly what model it was so we could do a proper price comparison. The drill has been kept on the lock and key and kept away from everyone. There's a culture of fear surrounding this drill and people stay away from it as if it is the Ark of the Covenant. We even went as far, Lambert Brown tried to table questions in the Senate to ask about this drill. He was blocked by the Senate president. Left with no option, we decided to have a press conference where we hope that presenting the data that we had about the only 2 drills on record, that the Ministry of Health or Sarah would come out and say what exactly this model number of that expensive drill was. We were a bit concerned when the only response was silence from Sarah and from the JLP sending out their attack dogs. We wondered if our plan had failed. Until yesterday, we saw the release from Medical Technologies where they, for the first time, admitted that the model number is EM800. And for the first time, we know what this exact model number is, who the manufacturer is, and we don't have to guess anymore what the cost is on the international market. My checks saw this drill for no more than $4 million. Very far from the $27 million plus the 4-year service contract, the 2-year service contract valued at $4 million, bringing it to a grand total of $31 million. It is available for all journalists, for all well-thinking Jamaicans to just do a quick Google search. What is the value of an EM800 Medtronic drill? And then you will see that $31 million of taxpayer dollars going into this company for this drill that can be procured for about $3 to $4 million is massive wastage, and it demands further investigation as to how that procurement process allowed this to happen. The other thing coming out of the press release is that MP Donovan Williams has confessed publicly that he has been breaking the law he helped to pass in 2023 that demanded that persons who are holding shares on behalf of a beneficial owner must declare this to the company's office. In doing so, Mr. Williams has now put himself in the situation where he must either resign from Parliament as he's morally unfit to continue to break the law and sit in the House as a lawmaker, or he must comply with the law and name who that ultimate beneficial owner is. We await the Auditor General's investigation. We await Mr. Donovan Williams' decision as to what course of action he will take, if he will protect this unnamed owner or he's going to backtrack and say that he is the owner and face the scrutiny that this deserves. We also encourage you to continue to support this cause. because it is not an easy one. The pushback has been great, and it is only with your continued support that we're able to continue our fight for what is right, for transparency and accountability. Go do your research on the EM800 drill, and you will see that you do not need to take my word for it any longer.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. We see them fighting for power, but they know not the hour. So they're bribing with their guns, spear parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity. They say that what we know is just what they teach us. And they are ignorant, yeah, brother. Yeah. They say that what we know is just what they teach us. But we are so ignorant that every time they try to reach us through political strategy, they keep us hungry. And when you want to get some food, your brother, your sister, mother and father have to be your enemy. Words of Robert Nesta Marley. The song is entitled Ambush in the Night. What a Saturday morning this is going to be. Share this live right now. Share this live to everybody you know right now. And if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe to Portland Spice TV. Marlene, Reggae Girl, Gilly, Claudia, Michael, Meku Talk TV, Sonia Ellis. A lot of things going to be put on the table this morning. Because there's also another song that says you can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. This morning on Portland Spice TV, we're going to be joined by Ace financial commentator in Jamaica, second to none, Ralston Hyman. We're also going to be joined by Peter Murcott Bunting, opposition spokesman on security. And you know, Peter is versed on a lot of things. Peter Bunting was one of the first person who stood up against the states of emergency, the way they were used. We're giving them a time to call some people. We're giving them a time to share this channel because this morning, revelation. You know also what happened? We caught the government in a lie. Because, you know, lying is a art, you know. And maybe know a science. Because in this digital age, it is difficult to hide what you said before. Now we saw coming out this week, the PIOJ saying that poverty is at its lowest. What them say, 8.6%, something to that effect. Let me just double check and see what they said, where they say poverty is. They say poverty is way down, 8.6%. If I go over here, so I might find it quicker. And that is good. 8.2%. For poverty to be, and that's 2023. coming out of the PIOJ. But my listeners and viewers, we are going to show you this morning where the PIOJ said something else, totally different. So, I call in Dr. Wayne Henry to the front of the class this morning. And I hear a talk show host asking how come the Gleaner never carry it on their front page. And I said to that talk show host, credibility is important. You have to be credible for people to carry your argument. If you're not credible, people may refuse to carry the things that you show them or that you say. This morning also, we're going to play a clip for you of a Jamaica Labour Party Minister of Government admitting that life hard in a Jamaica. Some people are going like life no hard out here. But I did a TikTok video on Friday. By the end of the day, Friday, it went over 25,000 views. And right now, it is somewhere 40,000 views. Yeah? So, we heard a government minister explaining to Jamaica and the world that in Jamaica, there are some parents who they are unable to send their children to school every day for the week. And some parents who have more than one child have to assess which one is brighter and send that one to school and left the rest at home. And when we say these things, the labor right troll, they come on here and they say we lie and we spread propaganda. Well, I want all of you to line up this morning because the truth going to be revealed. Before I go any further, our brethren who is very concerned about the Cane River Bridge in Port Antonio. The Cane River Bridge is the bridge just before you get to Carter Park, leaving Port Antonio, heading east. The approach to the bridge is failing and has been failing for quite some time. Let me see if I can show it to you. This is the bridge. And this is underneath the bridge you're looking at. So you stay underneath the bridge and look through the bridge. Look through the approach. This needs urgent attention. It needs urgent attention. And I might just say, this needs action. Needs action. That's so a calling on the NWA to check on it. And Black Boy are going forward that video to the communication man at NWA. We're going to send that video to him so we can get that issue addressed. Because if it's not something to dance about, we don't get to address. So, a lot of things this morning. And somebody need to call the Prime Minister. Somebody need to call the most honorable Dr. Andrew Olness. Hold on. I also want somebody to call Dr. Christofton. Because I played that clip with the drill a while ago. And I want to play a clip with Dr. Christofton. Now I call Ralston till me pass over 500 views.
Since I'm here, I say I want to see this mysterious drill that has attracted so much attention, and I'm sure with all the questions that have been asked. And I'm not arguing too much anymore, and would prefer that the debate or discussion doesn't center around cost, but more an opportunity to expose what neurosurgeons do and what kind of procedures are involved and the cost, but more an opportunity, and would prefer that the debate or discussion doesn't center around cost, but more an opportunity to expose what neurosurgeons do and what kind of procedures are involved and the complication of those procedures to treat with our young Jamaicans who access the facility.
Basically, to access the contents of the skull, we have to go through bone, which is why the drill is important.
Now, nobody that I know is questioning the importance of that drill. The importance of that drill, everybody accepts that. But my concern with what Dr. Tufton just said is that don't think about the cost. So, with all the importance of the drill, you are saying that because the drill is important, we must pay way more than it costs? Is that what you're saying to us, Dr. Christopher Tufton? And that's why we must urgently get to the issue of Cornwall Regional Hospital. Urgently. Because with over 20 billion spending on Cornwall Regional, that means we now watch no costs. Labor rights. We're not watching no costs. What can go so? So, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think nothing can really work out that way there. That you're spending taxpayers' money and you are saying to us that no worry about the costs. You don't care about the costs. We're going to go to the issue of the poverty rate. But I want to play one more clip from Senator Donna Mley about this drill.
The following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
As a spokesperson on justice, today I demand answers from the JP government in the medical drill scandal, a web of secret contracts, hidden investors, and blatant law breaking. This is not politics. This is about accountability to you, the people who deserve transparency. The facts are clear. Meditech, a company tied to a JP MP, is violating the Companies Act they themselves passed to avoid global blacklisting. They have failed to disclose who truly owns the company, ignored legal deadlines, and buried the truth about a shadowy person A, a silent partner hidden by court order since 2016. Who is person A? What power does he hold over $1 million medical contracts? Why does this government keep awarding Meditech deals while they break the law? This hypocrisy is staggering. The same JLP that warned Financial Action Task Force blacklisting would cripple Jamaica now lets their allies flout transparency laws, risking our economy and your trust. The People's National Party demands 3 things now. 1, enforce the law. 2, expose Meditech's true owners. 3, stop all contracts with companies that operate in secrecy. Jamaicans, your taxes fund these deals. You have a right to know who profits. No more shadows, no more silence. It's time for answers.
and visit our website at tnp.org.
So that is Senator Donna Scott Mley. A whole heap of things, you know. A whole heap of things. Because the real one with Dr. Tufton that I want to play, I don't play it yet. And I want to find it. This one.
I want to see this mysterious drill that has attracted so much attention. And I'm sure with all the questions that have been asked. And I'm not arguing too much anymore and would prefer that the debate or discussion doesn't center around cost, but more an opportunity to expose what neurosurgeons do and what kind of procedures are involved and the complication of those procedures to treat with our young Jamaicans who access the facility.
Basically, to access the contents of the skull, we have to go through bone, which is why the drill is important. Prehistoric times is where we were at, Mr. Tufton. So in 2025, we were still using the equipment Harvey Cushing, the father of neurosurgery, is using. So we were manually attaching perforators and drilling the hole. Now we have high-speed drill.
Thought I had a clip that Dr. Tufton was at Linstead Hospital when he was questioned by a journalist and not finding that one. Not finding that one.
On health, Dr. Alfred Dawes over comments he made about the purchase of a neurosurgical drill by the Southeast Regional Health Authority. Anthony Lugg has the very latest.
The saga over the $31 million surgical drill for the Bustamante Hospital took a drastic turn on Thursday when the attorneys representing medical technologists Meditech and Donovan Williams filed a lawsuit against opposition spokesman on health Dr. Alfred Dawes for comments he made at a press conference on Tuesday. The attorneys are demanding that Dr. Dawes withdraw his defamatory statements, secure immediate removal of the publication from his social media pages, cover their legal fees, among other things. MP Donovan Williams, who's listed as a majority shareholder in Meditech that supplied the tool to the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SARA, is insisting he does not, nor has he ever owned any beneficial interest in the company. Mr. Williams has downplayed his role in the company to a mere trustee as operating as a lawyer for Meditech. Meditech on Wednesday dismissed suggestions from Dr. Dawes that the drill sold to SARA was overpriced and further rejected the allegations that the company has been involved in a massive overpricing scheme. The company says the drill supplied to SARA was a new EM800 series drill and not the EM200 model referenced by Dr. Dawes. Following a tour of the Linstead Hospital on Wednesday, our news team again questioned Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton about the purchase of the $31 million drill.
The process that involves a scope, tendering, and evaluation is supposed to address value for money. So in that's what the framers of the rules would have anticipated. So to the extent that the rules were followed, to my mind, should give all of us some reassurance that based on what was required and what was provided, those costs would have justified based on the process taking its course.
The health minister is adamant, but Dr. Dawes has pointed to corruption and mismanagement in the health ministry. With a legal battle now looming over comments he made, it's left to be seen how things will unfold. When pressed about whether the drill could have been purchased at a cheaper rate, Dr. Tufton has response.
What matters to me is that the process was followed and that the equipment is being used to enhance the services in the hospital, Bustamante Hospital, saving children's lives. Everything else, to my mind, is hype. And unfortunately, we have bought into the hype.
Anthony. No, what is sad about that, Dr. Tufton don't care about the price. The man say, the drill is good. And that is what we should focus on. Don't focus on how much we pay for the drill. What level of garbage? Which garbage? But garbage. That is garbage. If the head of the stream have 28 bank account and cannot explain why would you expect anything else from this minister? Jamaicans, arise from your slumber and answer the call. All of us have a smartphone. Go up on your smartphone and check what the cost of this drill is. Check it. 20,000 US is about 3.2 million Jamaican dollars. And I have done my research on that drill. And I see it for $18,000 change at the highest that I have seen. Have you done your research? We need accountability. Yes, the drill is needed and the drill is good. But because you need a bread to eat, because food is important, means a man supposed to sell you a $500 bread for $2,000. That is called price gouging. It is unacceptable, Dr. Tufton, for you to be saying the talk about the cost of the drill is just hype.
At hospital on Wednesday, our news team again questioned Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton about the purchase of the $31 million drill.
The process that involves a scope, tendering, and evaluation is supposed to address value for money. So in that's what the framers of the rules would have anticipated. So to the extent that the rules were followed, to my mind, should give all of us some reassurance that based on what was required and what was provided, those costs would have justified based on the process taking its course.
The health minister is adamant, but Dr. Dawes has pointed to corruption and mismanagement in the health ministry. With a legal battle now looming over comments he made, it's left to be seen how things will unfold. When pressed about whether the drill could have been purchased at a cheaper rate, Dr. Tufton's response.
What matters to me is that the process was followed and that the equipment is being used to enhance the services in the hospital, Bustamante Hospital, saving children's lives. Everything else, to my mind, is hype. And unfortunately, we have bought into the hype.
So the process could not be hijacked. Is that what you're saying, Dr. Chris Tufton? That the process, once the process was followed, it couldn't be hijacked? Jamaica, they say that what we know is just what they teach us. And we are so ignorant that every time they can reach us through political strategy, they keep us hungry. Bob Marley said it. So what they want us to now do is to just believe what they tell me. Yeah, Ed boy, I can't take your call now because Ralston is running a little bit late and we're going to bring on Ralston and Peter Bunting together. Ed boy.
My brother.
Wagwan, sir.
But I know, what's his name is to come on. But I wanted to speak on this MedTech thing quick. Before,
yeah, man. We're not, him kind of get caught up in something, so we give him a little more time. So
no
we
problem, man.
We have about another 10 minutes.
We will wait here for Raleigh. Raleigh is the professor, So
yes, man. And then Peter Bunting coming on with him. So it is going to be a big discussion this morning.
Gonna be well, you have a firehouse over here. Mine catch the place of fire,
It have a bun down, Talk to me.
But quickly, this MedTech thing, right?
Yeah.
You know what a tangle web we weave when at first we practice to deceive.
Yes.
Yeah? Because now we understand why the company in 2022, through Donovan Williams, assumed trusteeship. Yeah. in an attempt, and let me tell you what they were doing. Remember now, in 2023 April, you had to declare the UBOs, the ultimate beneficial owners of companies,
Yes.
to be in compliance with FATF. And for your ordinary listeners, FATF is just it's a financial action task force, and it recommends actions to governments across the world to counter money laundering and proliferations and other things.
Yes.
Yeah. When you look at it, so in an attempt to preempt the upcoming legislation that was effectively passed in 2023, MedTech had to have a UBO. Yeah.
Talk to me.
That UBO, and I'll say it, take me to court every month. That UBO, by virtue of the Companies Act and being in compliance with the new rules, became Donna Van Williams.
So hold on. So what you're saying that he now be coming to the company because them have to declare everything.
Right. And so a UBO had to be declared. Yeah, because if you look, remember how the shares are split,
Yeah.
5 for Trudy Ricketts, right?
Yeah.
5 for Trudy Ricketts, 5 for somebody else, and then the 42 to Williams in so-called trusteeship, but 50,000 was not allotted.
Right.
I am saying to you and your listeners, why that 50,000 could not be allotted? Right? Why that 50,000 could not be allotted was because MedTech, one of its senior personnel, was in contravention with, was going through a lawsuit.
Tell her.
Now, this lawsuit required acts, what we call in business, asset protection services.
Yes. Yes.
In an attempt to preempt, knowing that the incident occurred in 2007, right around the same time when this company was incorporated, by the way. Yeah. In an attempt, and what incident happened in 2007? The JLP was elected to government. For the first time.
Yes.
In 18 years. They knew that incident occurred. The court was now pursuing them over a period of time to bring them before the court. What do you do if you have a pending court litigation that may result in you having to pay damages? You
offload your assets.
Exactly. And so that was what this individual A or party A, who everybody in Jamaica by now should know who the individual is.
Is individual a doctor, a medical doctor?
A medical doctor, CB. And I'm not referring to chicken. Yeah.
So he's a medical doctor. Was he the one who performed a surgery on the Governor General?
Yes, who has not recovered since.
Tell her.
Yeah, so
don't say
what we know.
Tell her, don't say too
what
much.
We know.
Tell her.
So we now know who those 50,000 honor. But it not done this, Shaka.
Talk to me.
This gentleman and the minister were batchmate at Manchester High School. This gentleman, the actual ultimate beneficial owner.
Gentleman A.
Gentleman A.
Yes.
And the minister went to high school together.
Tell her.
They are known friends. Not only that, he accompanied the minister to Philippines and India on the trip.
Tell her. Hold on, let me see what. Tell her.
It's not done there. It's not done there.
Tell her.
The largest supplier, MedTech's biggest, the places it supply. You want to hear them?
Tell me.
KPH, the Bustamante Children's Hospital, the UWI University Hospital, and the Tony Thwaites Wing. You want to know who is the director for those two last institutions?
Talk to me.
Same gentleman, Party A. So imagine, Party A, who is working for the government.
Hold on.
For the government.
Hold on, it, boy. And Dr. Dawes, you need to talk to me, I hear Dr. Dawes say, they know what he knows. So they must sue him. When I wait pan.
They can't sue him because they don't want the information to come out in court.
But it going to come out without, because people know already. A certain gentleman said nothing in Jamaica is secret.
It's a secret.
Nothing.
No, but Chaka, I don't want you to move away from this. Imagine they're supplying the universe of the West Indies, where it is said that this party A is an employee.
No, that is why.
Could somebody himself? You with me?
Yes. Nothing in Jamaica is private.
Who was present at the trial? Senator Tam Tavares Finson was his attorney, and also Donna Van Williams. But it is alleged that at the same trial, a certain minister of government was present. He came to the trial to represent his friend.
Tala.
But this man said on his first interview, him no know nothing about company, and him no know the individual like that, except in him capacity as whatever. Man must stop lie, man. Yeah?
Head boy.
And it so happened that both of them, right, have a degree from the very same institution in Manchester, United Kingdom. Yeah?
So all them say the man over integrity commission and dating a friend, so you know forget no work.
Well, let me tell you.
So Uncle Fidem friend can get work.
Yes, it does not apply to the JLP. Once you're alleged to have any association with the PNP, you should dead be hungry. And you shouldn't do no work. But let me tell you now, this must not rest Shaka, because it is. If this is happening at the Ministry of Health in just one area, imagine how widespread it is across the length and breadth of the government.
You remember how much money at the Ministry of Health the attorney, the auditor general say she can't tell we say it's spent correctly because she not get the documentation?
Yeah, but I can tell you on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, right?
Madam producer, bring the phone, please.
I had your friend Idiot Amin on his program, right? I took him on, and he was there spotting figures, statistics. And I said an important thing to him. I said, Senator, you know what you fail to understand? That statistics can yam. Yeah? The numbers that they're quoting, people are not stupid. Their reality don't equate to them reality.
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something, and I want to get to. I want to move away a little now from the drill and get to
the PIOJ numbers.
Yes. Because I don't know if you remember, Ed Boy, that on the 28th of March, the Prime Minister of Jamaica provided the country with these figures. This was the poverty graph that the Prime Minister of Jamaica put up. And it came from the PIOJ.
Right.
This graph that I just showed, who could see it on the screen, said that in 2023, poverty was at 12.3%.
Right.
That is what the Prime Minister of Jamaica told the country on the 20th of March, 2025. It went further. It said in 2024, poverty was at 12.1%. No. Yes, in 2023, it was at 12.3%. In 2022, it was at 12.7%. 2021, 13.9%. 2020, it spiked in COVID and go up to 21%. In 2019, poverty was at 11%. These are the numbers presented to the country of Jamaica by the most honorable Dr. Radam, Prime Minister Olness.
But Chaka, let's look at
in May now of 2025, the PIOJ is coming to tell us that in 2023, poverty was at 8.2%. I what a lie.
But let me tell you something. I ask you this question. Tell the PIOJ, give us the figures for 2024, and let me tell you why I say so. The census cannot be completed to this day. Do you know a part of that census is what they call the house and living standard, the standard of living aspect of the census?
Yes, yes.
Which then gives you it's the most accurate picture in terms of how poverty levels are across the country. So that component of the census is heavily dependent upon to determine the poverty rate.
Ed boy,
so it is.
Without that census, is pure bamboozle way. I'm going to call Peter Bunting. I'm going to call Peter Bunting, Ed boy, and then I'm going to join with Ralston.
All the best, my brother.
Hold on for me. Yes, sir. Hold on for me. Ralston running a bit late, but I'm going to start with you, and then he's going to join us. Hold on. You see? Me tell them, this is a digital age. So when they come in with them whole heap of lies, we are going to find them out. They're not going to get away. They cannot get away from us. We are going to find them out. Yeah, man. We have Senator Peter Bunting on the line. Senator Bunting, good morning.
Morning, Colin. Morning to your listeners.
We're giving Ralston a little time. Our ATM machine doesn't work well, so he's at an ATM. As soon as he moves, he's going to join us. But I want to start with you, Senator Bunting, because a whole heap of things up on the table this morning. The $31 million mysterious drill that the Minister of Health is saying that don't worry about the price. Just stick to the importance of the drill. We see the PIOJ coming out to say to us that poverty in 2023 was 8.2% when the Prime Minister told us on March 20th in a graph that he showed that poverty was 12.3%. We see the court coming out ruling against the GLP and saying that the states of emergency were illegal and a breach of the Constitution. You were one of the first, if not the first Jamaican who came out against these states of emergency publicly. Do you now feel real vindication?
Well, yes. I came out against the states of emergency for a number of reasons. But first, and the most principled one, was that I was convinced that the serial and routine use of states of emergency as a tool of policing was absolutely unconstitutional. That is the tool of tyrants.
Yes.
And petty tyrants.
Yes.
No civilized society runs states of emergency continually for years. That's a police state. So that was my first principled objection. The second one was that they just were not working. They might shift the criminals from one local area or one parish to an adjacent one, what is called in policing the balloon effect. Mm-hmm. When you squeeze a balloon one area, it bulbs out on another side. Mm-hmm. So it was clear it was not working. And, the Olness regime speaks about campaigning on their success in crime. The truth of the matter is that more Jamaicans have been murdered during Andrew Olness's 2 terms than any other 2 terms under any other prime minister in the history of Jamaica. How on earth can that be a success?
Well, he's saying that we should judge him on it. So I hope the people of Jamaica will look at the numbers and judge him on it. Because up to 2024, 12,456 Jamaicans were murdered under Prime Minister Andrew Olness' watch. An average of 1,384 people every year.
In fact, for the first 8 years, during which time these states of emergency were being used intensively, every year the number of murders was at least 25% higher than during our administration of 2012 to the start of 2016.
Talk to me.
Every year for the first year here, 25% on average more murders were committed. So, I mean, but you know, this administration is an administration of propaganda, lies, and misinformation. So if you want to listen to what they're pushing out and the statements he's making now, what Olness is saying, don't judge me on the 9 years. Judge me on the 4.5 months
of 2025.
2025.
But Senator Bunting, we see where the government is basically trying to control media, trying to control all publications to basically create the narrative that they want to create. As a senior member of the People's National Party, how are you going to be combating this going into an election which is right around the corner, in my view?
Well, you know, it's the value of the remaining independent media. The scores of programs like yours, Colin, that are not constrained by the declining economics of mainstream media.
Right.
As you know, the worldwide, but particularly here in Jamaica, a lot of people, a lot of corporate entities no longer spend a huge budget on advertising, right, or sponsoring programs on mainstream media. It's much more cost effective to use social media.
Mm-hmm.
And when you speak to the average person, particularly the average young person, and when I say young, I'm talking maybe under 40.
Yes.
They get their news from social media, not from mainstream media. In the main, they get it from social media. So it creates an opportunity for us to get around the constraints of the regime. And the truth is, this is a regime of bullies. People are scared to talk. I mean, you talk about, you mentioned the drill.
Mm-hmm.
Within the medical circles and the Ministry of Health, there are scores of similar stories where, you know, the Minister of Health tries to brush them off and say, oh, no, don't worry about the costs. They're saving lives. The biggest example of that is Cornwall Regional Hospital, which should have been refurbished for under $2 billion and is gone to 20-odd billion now and climbing, right? It's that same attitude. Don't worry about the cost. One day it will be finished and it will eventually serve its purpose. But in the meantime, we could have built probably 5 or 6 brand new Cornwalls if the money was being spent efficiently. But the reason why we don't hear about more of these cases is because people are so bullied and intimidated. They're scared to speak up. They're scared to speak up. They're scared of being victimized. Whole heap of consultants in the ministry have been acting for years because they don't want to give them the security of tenure, of appointing them, in case they might say something critical of the government. There's an environment of fear in the Ministry of Health. They're circulating the officials act and insisting that everybody sign that. This has been going on for years, not just now.
But Senator,
because it's a tool of suppressing information.
I don't know if you heard Dr. Tufton on the drill. He's saying that don't worry about the cost. There was a process. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Scope, tendering, and evaluation is supposed to address value for money. So in that's what the framers of the rules would have anticipated. So to the extent that the rules were followed, to my mind, should give all of us some reassurance that based on what was required and what was provided, those costs would have justified based on the process taking its course.
The health minister is adamant, but Dr. Dawes has pointed to corruption and mismanagement in the health ministry. With a legal battle now looming over comments he made, it's left to be seen how things will unfold. When pressed about whether the drill could have been purchased at a cheaper rate, Dr. Tufton's response.
What matters to me is that the process was followed and that the equipment is being used to enhance the services in the hospital, Bustamante Hospital, saving children's lives. Everything else, to my mind, is hype. And unfortunately, we have bought into the hype.
You hear the man say, Senator? Don't worry about the cost.
Yeah, man.
That's hype.
But he's the biggest hype man around. Market me. Let me is the nickname I have for him. Market me.
But what after that?
But the truth of the matter is, Colin, the rules were designed for people who were sincere, not for the level of thief we have in the Jamaica Labour Party. No rules could ever have contemplated that people were there primarily to loot taxpayers' money. When you have people who will steal the fertilizer that was intended as a gift to small farmers, so they steal from small farmers. When you have people who will thief the very Nutribun from school picnic, when you have people who will thief from sick children, because make no mistake, when you pay 31 million for something that could have been had for a tenth of the price, that difference is money stolen from the hospital that would have provided and saved the lives of sick children.
Yes.
So we must not minimize this. The impact of this criminality is measured in quality of life, lives, and in also the infrastructure, our health, education, or roads, etc. So people sometimes, when you say corruption, it seems like a highfalutin term, but it's really thieving we're talking about.
Thieving.
And Jamaican people don't like thief.
Tell me something. You've been in the parliament for quite some time, but as a parliamentarian, we know parliamentarians can get contract. But is there something you'd have to do as a parliamentarian before you can get these contracts legally and ethically? Is it that you have to declare, make certain kind of submission? How that works?
If you have an interest in a company that is proposing to do business with the government,
yes,
and you're a shareholder or director, or I forget how it's defined in the Constitution, if you do not declare that interest prior to doing business, then you need to vacate your seat in Parliament.
So, what if you are a trustee? What if the shares you hold them in trust for somebody? You also need to declare that?
Well, first of all, I'm glad you bring up this trust thing, because in 2023, an amendment was passed to the Companies Act, an amendment which the Minister of Foreign Affairs in her capacity as leader of government business in the Senate said was urgent because we were at risk of being blacklisted by the Financial Action Task Force.
Yes.
This amendment said that this kind of trust arrangement was no longer acceptable, that what must be declared to the Companies Act is the ultimate beneficial shareholder.
Talk to me.
So Donovan Williams, who was in Parliament when his government passed that amendment and who no doubt voted for it, then continued to ignore it for another 2 years. And now when he's outed in 2025, he's threatening to sue us on the basis that he was breaking the law and not complying with the 2023 amendment, and somehow expected Dawes to go behind that veil and to figure out who he's really representing. Then now story really come to bomb, because to substantiate that, he releases, or I assume somebody with him in his defense releases what had been a confidential court document prior. And that court document was at pains to continue to conceal the identity of the substantial shareholder.
Person A.
And it only refers to it as person A. Now, I at a mindable town hall, I had to discourage people from concluding that A was for Andrew, because I didn't want to. I didn't want them to go down that road or us to lead me down that road to get any defamation.
Right.
Suit threat.
A is A.
But,
you don't know who is A.
But,
Can't call
but
it
the
Apple.
fact that it is not disclosed will leave it up to speculation. And I wonder how the government can countenance doing millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. This is not the only contract that medical technology has got.
Right, we hear them have contract with University of the West Indies 28 wing, the KPH.
They are a leading supplier of equipment.
And they also rent equipment to the ministry of to the hospitals.
That's my understanding. And I have seen their name come up in, they have ministry papers from time to time which are tabled in Parliament, which shows you cabinet approving purchase contracts or supply contracts from various suppliers. And I have seen their name come up repeatedly. But the government is breaking its own law. The law that this administration passed recently. So people can't even say them forget. Everybody who is in Parliament now was there when that law, the amendment to the Companies Act bill was passed. So they can't even claim ignorance. So, but it just shows you the caliber of the people we're dealing with in this Andrew Olness regime.
So if we now find out that MP Williams did not declare this since 2023, what action should be taken?
Well, he would have had to he should have declared it from 2020. But given that he claims he was just holding it in trust, but he would still be violating from 2023 when the law required.
That's my argument.
The ultimate beneficial shareholder. So the company and Donovan Williams has no excuse. They should have been compliant for the last 2 years and they have not been. And it appears there must be a very good reason for it because, up to this day, with all of the months of back and forth about this drill, they still have not produced two things. One, who is the ultimate beneficial owner of this company? And secondly, here is the invoice and customs entry that we use to clear this particular drill.
I'm not interested in the invoice.
That would be the easy defense, but yet they're dancing and skirting.
I'm not interested in the invoice, Senator Bunting. All I want to see is the custom form.
Customs entry, exactly.
That is all I want to see. The custom entry for that drill. And then
yes, that would clear up matters.
Yes.
That would clear up matters.
I heard Wentworth Charles in an interview on Nationwide, and they asked him if he would be willing to release the custom entry. And he said, well, those items should be able, but first he have to go check the lawyer to find out.
Exactly. But similarly, when Tufton was asked about details of the bids, he made some comments about you must make a ATI, access to information request. Now, this government doesn't respond to access to information requests in the main. They find all kind of excuses because they don't want to give information. They don't even respond to the ombudsman. Can you imagine the effrontery of the mayor of Montego Bay refusing to answer a legitimate question, a public interest question from the political ombudsman, which is now the powers are in the Electoral Commission of Jamaica? Just absolutely refused. Now that tells you a government that is dedicated to hiding information from the public who are entitled to it.
But we are aware of that, Senator Bunting, that they don't want to give information. Ready? Senator Bunting?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
All
right, so look like Ralston ready for us. Let's try and join him. But Senator Bunting, we see where the water quality in the Kingston and St. Andrew area, we had some problems with that. And when the information was released, the government were upset and said that they're not sending the NWC, not going back to the KSAMC.
Yeah, well, that is emblematic of how this government deals with a problem. Instead of fixing the water quality, their response is to hide the water quality from the public. So you don't know what, whether you are drinking water with what level of coliform or fecal coliform.
Mm-hmm.
Something, again, which from a public health perspective must be a basic entitlement of the users of this potable water.
We also got the report from Dunn's River, and we heard Dean Jackson Miller of RGR saying that they're criticizing RGR for carrying the report.
Well, it comes back to this regime wants to suppress information. They want to bully those who are releasing the information. And it's a good thing that we have people like Colin Bell who is dedicated to getting that information out there. But when you have Ralston, and I have a couple questions, I want you to facilitate me in asking him before I have to leave you.
Definitely. We got him a while ago. It looked like we lost him. Let me get him right back. Look like we lost him a while ago. Let me just get him back on the line.
Well, let me share it with you then, because I soon have to leave. But
hold on,
hold
on, Senator Bunting. I have Ralston now. Yeah, Ralston, morning.
Morning.
I have Peter Bunting on the line. He's been on for a little while, but he have some questions for you. So I'll let him go first. Go, Senator Bunting.
Morning, Ralston.
Yes, sir. Morning.
I have been puzzled by this last PIOJ report. And let me say it up front. I have respect for the director, Wayne Henry, and the professionals. But they are giving an estimated GDP figure, and they rely on information from the ministries, the line ministries.
Mm-hmm.
So we see, for example, in tourism, the objective figures, the objective data that's collected, the stopover arrivals, the cruise ship arrivals, all show significant declines. When we look at the figures of a public company in the tourism industry, because I can only think of one publicly listed company that we get figures from, Playa Resorts, which operates 4 different hotels in Jamaica. That would, to my mind, probably be a representative sample. They have about 4% of the total room stock in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And their results show, and I'm going from recollection, something between 15 and 17% reduction in the average daily rate for their room stock. 15 to 17%, right? It is revenue down. So you have the information we have about the rates. We can see that there's significant discounting in the rates, even to get the occupancies that we have. But yet we're seeing declines in stopover arrivals. We're seeing declines in tourism, in cruise ship arrivals. But somehow, because the estimate of the stay, of the length of stay, has moved from 7.4 to 7.8, we still had an increase in real GDP from the hotel sector of 0.8%. As my friend Damien would say, the math's not matching, right? And similarly, I will tell you, in agriculture, all the hard data that we have, like the production of sugar and sugar cane, which is really, that data comes from a few large producers. Or the export data, etc., all suggest a decline in agriculture, except what is estimated by the Ministry of Agriculture is climbing like crazy. So, for example, in Manchester, where I am, they said first quarter of this year is up 16+% over the first quarter of last year. So no, this is before burial last year, So it's not
Yeah,
you're
right.
comparing with a post-burial quarter.
Yeah.
You're comparing with a pre-burial quarter. 16+% growth. I must tell you, I don't see it. But it's just curious to me how all the sectors, all the areas that require an estimates from the ministry are up significantly. But all the areas, the same ministries where the data is objectively measured, the figures are down.
All right. So I could tell the people when Norman Mley formed the Planning Institute of Jamaica in the 1960s, the work of the Planning Institute of Jamaica is about planning, to tell the government how much schools to build, to tell the government what to do. You had asked for them to do a study of the bauxite and alumina sector. I know that study has not been completed. What the Planning Institute of Jamaica is doing is to compete with under the Nigeria Clark dispensation. The Planning Institute of Jamaica has been competing with the Statistical Institute of Jamaica in terms of GDP forecasting. So the people of Jamaica must know that's not the terms of reference and the remit of the Planning Institute. That's the remit of the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. But the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Nigel Clark has always used the Planning Institute of Jamaica because the Planning Institute of Jamaica always give good news. So as you said, they do estimate, starting, go out there and actually measure the thing. So what we have is that the PIOJ always come out before starting and say what them say, and then expect by the time starting come out now, the people forget what them say, and starting most of the time downgrade what the PIOJ says because starting actually measure the thing. So what Raynham is doing is giving the people a kind of feel-good situation. I have no respect for Raynham. Raynham is the worst director general of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. You had people like Don Mills, you had people like Norman Gervan, it was near the National Planning Agency, the 70s. People like Professor Norman Gervan, you had Omar Davies, you had Wesley Hughes, and Clement Jackson. Wayne Henry is the worst director general of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. He's more on the political side. Similarly, when we had the 2 consecutive quarters decline, him come and tell the people one bag of foolishness and now admit that the country is in a recession. So whenever they again now is continuing the same trajectory. So you have all of these feel-good things that come out because the election are drawing near. So my thing to the people, wait until you hear from Statin and treat Statin as a second cousin. Although under the 1984 Statistics Amendment Act, Statin is the official agency in Jamaica that the world to tell people about GDP, to tell people about inflation, to tell people about the balance of payments and all of them things, the external trade data, right?
Ralston.
So the PIOJ is encroaching on Statin.
Ralston and Senator Bunting. In the Prime Minister's budget presentation, you remember that graph that he put up, Senator Bunting?
Yeah, man. When poverty was 12% and change, all of a sudden it's now down to 8%.
The graph that the Prime Minister showed on the 28th of March, 2025, said poverty was at 12.3% in 2023. And for 2024, it was 12.1%. And those numbers, the Prime Minister said, was coming from the PIOJ. So how now we're getting different numbers from the PIOJ? Which one is true?
Precisely. As I said, Wayne Henry's job is to make the people feel good. He's been a political director general, not an economic director general. We saw that with the recession. We saw that with most of the things. And as I said, them always front load starting. Them come out before starting. So people take their data as gospel. So when even starting come out and say, well, write down that and that is not so. I mean, that gone through the gate already. So that's why you have to have critical people like us to tell the people, say, that's not the function of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. They must go tell the people about the cost-benefit analysis that Peter Bunting asked them to do on the mining sector. Oh, no, we can't get that. Instead,
no, we can't.
Yeah. Instead of a front run starting with GDP data, although they know that's not their mandate. That's not the mandate of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. So I'm not ready to win anyway. I'm not afraid to say that.
Senator Bunting, you say you're going to have to go shortly, but let me ask you this straight and directly. The murder figures that we are getting in Jamaica, do you believe them?
Well, I believe that there has been a decline this year.
Yes.
So what I have asked the commissioner publicly to do is they came out, I think it was a story in one of the newspapers, that there's about a backlog of between 450 and 500 cases that are called death investigations or classified as death investigations or undetermined deaths. These sorts of classifications. Until the postmortems are done, the postmortems primarily, the forensic pathologists and the investigators conclude. We don't know what the actual figures are. I have suggested that what we need to do is to work through that backlog as quickly as possible so that we can have confidence.
And you're saying that there's how much in that backlog?
I don't have evidence to make a conclusion one way or the other.
How much you say is in that backlog?
In the interest of the public to get those cleared up.
How much you say is in that backlog, Senator?
I think the figure was between 450 and 500. I don't remember the precise figure, but it was between 450 and 500.
And that's coming from when?
That will be coming from maybe late last year.
2024 to now.
Yes.
That's a lot, even if it's 400.
It is a lot. It is a lot. So we need to resolve that. Now, some may be, some may be natural causes, for example, but some may also be ultimately classified as murders. So we need to have full transparency there to really know the precise figures.
Ralston, you were saying something.
Yeah, I'm saying I agree with that. What I get is a slow good news because the election are drawing near. So all of the public sector agencies, the police, the PIOJ, the Bank of Jamaica, giving us good news because they think they can dupe the people. Because even the rate reduction by the Bank of Jamaica is a major policy error. The Federal Reserve Board, the world's most powerful independent central bank, with a balance sheet about $8 trillion. Say them have to wait. Them just meet about a week ago and say, the consensus from the Board of Governors is that we have to wait and assess the inflationary impact of the Trump tariff policy. Because up to yesterday, the market stank again because Trump talked about tariffs on Apple and all of them something. Governor Biden said he spent $1.1 billion US between April of last year and April of this year and mop up billions of Jamaican dollars in order to prevent the currency from depreciating by more than 2%. He said also the people in the commercial banking sector have not been responding to his rate reduction. Yet him still reduce the interest rates, although he knows that there will be no pass-through to the people on the ground.
But Ralston, remind me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall when Bank of Jamaica was being pressured to reduce rates based on our local inflation going down. We were told by Bank of Jamaica that the Fed rate was in effect a floor. And they had to maintain a margin above the Fed rate. So I must tell you, I was surprised because the Fed rate hasn't moved.
Precisely. And yet somehow they moved down. It's a political decision. Yeah. So the governor gone in the politics too. It's a political decision them take. Yeah. Rubbish.
So who's going to benefit from that?
Eh?
Who's going to benefit from that?
Nobody except the banks.
And the government, because it gives them one more good news announcement.
Precisely. That's what it's about.
People might think will translate to their interest bill, but in reality, that won't happen. But Boston, I said something at the town hall in Mandeville on Thursday night. I said, this is a government of propaganda, misinformation, and lies.
Yeah, man.
But for the average person, you can't use propaganda, misinformation, and lies and pay your grocery bill.
No.
You can't use it and pay your light bill.
No.
You can't use it and pay the taxi man.
No.
To go from one point to the other. So they know that in their everyday life, they're not feeling this. They're not seeing where this is benefiting them.
Precisely.
So, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, man.
I believe to maintain this.
Yeah, man.
Maintain this facade of prosperity.
Yeah, man.
Promises and lies and thieving.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Bunting.
Anyway, I'm going to have to run, leave your Colin. But
big up yourself. Thanks, Senator. We'll talk. We'll be in touch. Blessings.
Yeah, all right. Good. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So, Ralston.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wayne Henry. What is driving him to be giving this kind of misinformation?
Politics, man.
So is it a
politics?
Is this position a political appointment position?
Yeah, in a sense, because he's appointed by the minister.
How long has he been in this position?
Well, since these people have been in power, he always work with them.
Was he a part of the administration in 2007, 2000 to 2012?
Yeah, man, he was an advisor to Minister Shah when the economy crashed. So we don't really rate him.
So he was integrally involved when the economy crashed?
When the thing crashed, man. Yeah, man.
But how do we know? And I'm calling on the labor rights. I need a labor right to come tell me. I send the graph to Marlon Morgan that the Prime Minister put up in his budget presentation. How could they get it so wrong, Ralston, that the Prime Minister in March had 12.3% for 2023, and in May, by the middle of May,
we got down to 8.2.
No, but on the graph, it said the graph was prepared by the PIOJ. It's on the graph.
Of course, it's the PIOJ prepared. Of course, it's the PIOJ prepared. But remember, when you're a liar, you have to remember what it said before. You know? Yeah, so, the PIOJ prepared.
Oh no!
And by the way,
yeah,
it's not the PIOJ who conduct the survey of living conditions. You know, it is Statin who conduct the survey of living conditions. You know. Yet PIOJ is reporting on the work that Statin does. That is why I'm talking about the competition and the arms out. Yeah, the survey of living conditions is conducted by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. Right now, Statin don't have a director general, so we move like him as the director general of Statin right now.
This graph says poverty prevalence, and it started from 2013. 2013, it said poverty was at 17%. 2014, 13%. 2015, 15%. 2016, 11.6%. 2017, it went up to 19%. 2018, 19.3%, that is. 2018, it was at 12.6%. 2019, it got to 11%. 2020, COVID year, it went up to 21%. 2021, it came down to 13.9%. 2022, 12.7%. 2023, 12.3%. 2024, 12.1%. That sound like a decline you could see in Jamaica, don't?
Yeah, man.
But here is the new data. 2015, 21%. 2016, 17.1%. 2017, 19.3%. 2018, 12.6%. 2019, 11%. 2021, it don't get 2020. It got 2021, 16.7%. And then 2023, 8.2%. Let me show this graph. Which one you believe? Which one do you believe to be true?
I say, Colin, a fundamental point that must not be overlooked. The survey of living conditions is not conducted by the PIOJ. It is conducted by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. Yet it is the Director General of the PIOJ that is reporting on the survey of living conditions in Outtime Lane. That's the point I'm making.
But also answer me this, Ralston. Oh, you can get accurate numbers without the population census being completed.
Yep.
What role would the population census play in getting these figures?
Very important role, because that is what I tell you, that is what is happening right across the country. So you have a problem when you don't have the population census. You're shooting in the dark. And all of the numbers that are done by PIOJ, they are shooting in the dark because they are doing estimates. They're not going out there and measure anything like statistics.
Right.
PIOJ just put some numbers in our computer and run them. Yeah, they're not an estimation. That is why I'm saying he's predicting that GDP will do. He's estimating that GDP. Starting with the actual measurement. So I tell the people of Jamaica, wait and starting if you want to hear what happened with GDP, what happened with inflation, what happened with the external accounts. Not starting, not PIOJ or the Bank of Jamaica. That's not their mandate.
But Ralston, you say Statin don't have a director general.
No.
And in this political environment now, do you expect Statin to come with the truth?
Well, we have to wait and see. Yeah, you're right. Because they make sure they're not appointing a director general. When them And a Director General, Ms. Colin, Nigel Clark never treat her with no respect. Him treat Wayne Henry with all the respect. When you look at even the building, the salary, how them deal the people, you can see.
But, Ralston, the PIOJ also said that the economy grew by 0.8%.
Yeah, they are predicting. Don't say that. They are predicting. So all the people understand, so they are predict. Because they don't measure nothing there. He says estimating or predicting. You have to wait until starting comes, starting with the actual measurement.
Okay.
And then starting will tell you how it got.
Yes. Yeah? So what they are coming with is gaslighting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I wonder if they might call election next week with all this gaslighting that they're coming with now.
No, maybe. But when you see that, you know, so the time is 9. When you see them, I give it slow good news, you know, so it's around the corner.
Yes.
Yeah?
So they're planning all of this.
Yeah, man.
So all of this
is propaganda.
Is simple election propagandering and lying.
Yeah, man.
But how do we trust Wayne Henry when he told us that the economy was not in a recession?
No, me not trust him. Me don't know why I don't trust him. Me not rate him.
Because
me not trust him.
Some people might not believe us, but I want to play it for them. Where Wayne Henry told us that the country was not in a recession. Listen to this.
And employers have also lamented challenges and shortages in filling some vacant positions. This is also supported by the most recent data on business and consumer confidence levels, which indicate positive sentiments by both consumers and businesses regarding current and future economic prospects. It is therefore the PIOJ's assessment that the Jamaican economy, though facing a downturn in economic output, is not in a recession.
That was Wayne Henry after 2 quarters of negative growth, and 11 of our economic sectors showing decline.
And then business and consumer confidence promptly tumbles next quarter. If I thought that.
How do we trust these people, Ralston?
We can't trust Wayne Henry, man.
And that's why we have to thank you for coming on to clarify the figures, because you see, a lot of people don't understand how the thing works. A lot of people don't understand the system, how it works. Ralston, we hear about this drill, and I have to talk to you about it before I let you go, because I know I realize you're still on the road trying to sort out your business with these crazy ATM machines. They don't, they don't work in
Port Antonio. Working properly, yes.
They don't work in Port Antonio either.
Yeah, man.
You go
still not working properly.
You go for deposit one little dribblings, and it take you half hour inside the machine, plus the time you have to wait to join the line.
Yeah, man.
What can go?
Yeah, man. People are just so frustrated. People have to leave Papi and go Ligani and all of them places. They have to pay money to get the liquor money. Yep. Yep. But rather than paying attention to them, to the BOJ involved in a propaganda and them stupidity.
Is it that the BOJ is looking after the banks and not looking after the people of Jamaica? Because
yeah, man. Because even the rate reductions at the bank have benefit from it, because they moved on from 7% to 5.75%. And the governor complains every day that the banks are not taking the tax from him and reduce the rates, but instead reduce it again.
And that is just for the banks, because no customer will benefit.
No, because the banks have now reduced them interest rates. And him complain about it, but him still do it again. So the question is, why him do it? Simply, politics.
Ralston, a drill that could have been bought for $10 million was bought for $31 million. What effect, economic effect, those kind of things can have?
All those things are having because we could have buy more drills and more people could have get services. A misallocation of resources, which make the country poorer. Yeah.
Dr. Chris Tufton said, look at the benefit of the drill. Don't look at the cost. What kind of sense?
No, man, we have to look at the cost, man, because we have to look at the cost of everything. The cost-benefit analysis. Well, he don't know about money. We say that because Cornwall Region was supposed to cost $2 billion, right gone $26 billion, and the hospital can't do it. So we expect from somebody like him.
Ralston,
we expect better from somebody like him. But we know that you have to get maximum value for taxpayers' money in a country where money is short.
Talk to me. Anything you want to left us with, Ralston, as we let you go?
Well, what I said, brother? What I tell the people, them say, be careful of the flow of good news that is released at this particular point in time, because all of it is designed for a particular purpose, and the technical agencies, they must serve the government rather than serve the people. Yeah?
Yes.
Wayne Henry Planning Institute has no credibility. The Statistical Institute is the institute that has the official and international mandate to report on GDP, to report on inflation, to report on the balance of trade, as well as the survey of living conditions. The Planning Institute never conducts the survey of living conditions. It is conducted by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. So we have to know how we need to report on the survey of living conditions. So I tell the people of Jamaica, be careful, open your eyes, and watch the reality. Don't watch the bogus data that you see come out of the system. And by the way, Colin, poverty was 9% in 2007.
Yes.
Under Omar Davies. So despite the dreadful things, poverty was 9%, unemployment was 9%, and that's the last time the economy grew by 3%.
When the GLP won in 2007, they got poverty
was 9%.
9%. Yes, I remember that.
Yep.
Brother, give thanks.
Yep. Blessed Lord. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Ralston Iman. Thank you very much. Ralston Iman, Peter Bunting. 800 people on the live. 247 likes. It no cost no nothing for us. Touch the thumbs up. Touch up the thumbs up. Like up the video. Share up the video. Now, may I open the phone line? Right away. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Bell.
Hold on there. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Bell.
Good morning. All right, Donovan. Hold on, Donovan. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, you're familiar with Carl Bruce?
Carl Bruce?
Yeah.
From Carl Bruce. Yeah, man, I know the name. You know, athletics.
Who?
You mean athletics? I think you mean sports. Carl Bruce. I know the name.
Carl Bruce.
Carl Bruce. I know the name, man. I know the name. The name is a familiar name.
I think my chief surgeon at UA.
Oh, he's the chief. Okay.
The chief surgeon, Dr. UA.
Okay.
You know, so that man, a person of faith.
That man there what?
The person of A when I
No, it's all right. Me no want to know who. Me no want to know.
You don't want to know why?
Tell her, me no want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Left me alone. Tell her. Me no want to know.
Hey.
Me no want to know. Yeah,
guess. I the one that the MT.
Tell her. Yeah, guess. Me no know that.
Check it up.
I will check it out.
Yeah,
I
assume, yes.
I will check it out. I see one different name.
You have a whistleblower.
We need whistleblowers and we have to protect the whistleblowers.
Yeah. Well, the whistleblower I say no care. You can send out the tape. You have a tape around.
Listen me, Jamaicans are tired of the skullduggery. Jamaicans are tired of the raping of the country's resources. Jesus Christ, man, you can't thief, but thief little no. Why you not thief with backhoe and bulldozer and front end loader? You can't thief with fork. Jesus.
A tough time schoolmate.
Tell her.
A tough time schoolmate.
Little more.
Me talk more, man.
No.
Talk more.
Me afraid of lawsuit.
All right.
Say it is alleged. It is alleged that. Tell her.
Yes. That man when a chief surgeon, he might do a love surgery up there and kill off people, you know.
Tell her. Me said the governor general not get better yet. All right, little more.
Yeah, get story, man.
Little more later. Me gone left you. Me now you're not more from you. Let me go over here, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Donovan. Good morning.
Yeah, quickly. You hear me now?
Yes.
Two things I want to say to you, right? You said the minister said, the Tufton, I said, boy, we're not supposed to watch a price. You watch a service what you provide, right?
Yes. Hold on, caller. Continue, sir. Go ahead, Donovan.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, I'm asking the Jamaican people them what they should do. Do not go to Coronation Market. Do not go downtown to buy goods. Do not go to look no cheap place, no wholesale. Go up in a Price Mart and these places because the same product is selling somewhere, so they can get it more expensive.
Yes.
So they not watch the cost again.
Don't watch the price. Just buy it for anything you see it for.
Just buy anything you see it for.
Be like me. Do like me, cause my people they want to conk me sometime. When we go someplace and I look for something as me see it more and buy, they say, you idiot. Buy, make we walk and look.
Exactly.
And when we walk and look, we see it for half the price. Where if I did me alone go out, then me just buy and turn back in, brother. Things don't work. So
That's what he's saying. No. So if something costs, these are colors. The next thing quickly, right?
Yeah.
I hear Mr. Tufton come out with a press release, say he never know about the drilling thing about the company until it come to light. But yes, still, the same person that they are calling the name, who and him went on the trip to...
Tell her.
So, oh, no, know the person there, and it from 2007 when he was a part of Bruce Golden thing. And him don't know the person there, him don't know. It's on conflict, it's on a way. It now makes sense to me, it now add up because him don't know the person until it come to light by Mr. Dawes. But yes, still him and the same person, the CB or whatever name or whatever, is going on a trip to India.
And other places, so and only India alone then go. Then go other places too.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to say that. It's when you tell persons the same thing over and over again, them take this Jamaican people for some idiots because you have some troll who follow behind them also, and they are not looking at the reality of the situation until it reaches them doorstep. When a minister can come tell us, I am not saying the drill is not worth in terms of the use of it.
The drill is important. The drill is vital. But it no means say you will rip where
I sell a kidney if you get it.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
It doesn't mean I suppose sell a kidney if you get it.
Thank you, sir. Enough respect.
All right, cool.
804, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Colin. I'm calling from California.
California. Not my home.
Yeah, so I emphatically disagree with the health minister about not worrying about the cost. Because
him
of the simple fact that
him not have to worry about it because them know which part them get for them money from, and they know where they can fly to when they take sick. And hold on, Carla, before you say anything, I want to say condolences to the friends and family of my general, one of my general pass on Thursday, Rupert Chili Miller. I mean, I tell you no, it's a big shoes that left for fill people. Chili Miller passed on. May his soul rest in peace and light perpetual shines upon him. I want to say to his family, hold strong, hold the faith. I don't know if you can full Chili shoes, but Neil, be strong, my brother, my friend. Bless up. Continue, sir.
Yeah, man, bless up too. Yeah, so in economics, and I want to tell the Jamaican people, there's a thing called opportunity cost.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What's the opportunity of you doing this versus that? What's the best case scenario? What am I losing over here?
Yes.
If I do this over here? And that's very important in terms of cost benefit analysis. So when a minister, the prime person for that ministry is going to come out and say, don't worry about the cost, that's just dog nonsense. That's just dog nonsense. And the Jamaican people need to
that's the level of
careful
arrogance.
Attention to that and hold it against them.
That's the level of arrogance they show to us. I tell you, we say, no, don't worry about the money. There's a process. So any money we will pay for it, the process say that we will pay. Rubbish. Have you done a search for the drill to see what the drill would cost?
Yeah, I've done a search for many drills, and basically what I'm looking at is even the numbers that is being presented to the customs seem like it's been fudged. It seems like it's been fudged to effect, a lower customs cost. But it's nowhere that significant amount of $200 and change, US, 200 and something thousand US. It's nowhere that.
You see, I used many different sites to look many different ways, and the dearest I saw it for was about 18,000 US. So if you even push it up to 20,000 US, you're talking about 3.2 million. And let's say, as the contractor, you're buying it, you put on 100%, or let's say you put on 200% markup, which would be wicked. The Bible says you know if you do that. But let's say you put on 200% markup, then you'd end up at a little under $10 million. Where $31 million come from? And you have people are saying that, no worry about it. You know, one of the things about this though, away from certain top of the line idiot GLP, you know, I don't see much of the GLP people defend this. I don't see much of them defend it, you know. Because I am calling on all labor rights to choose Jamaica. Choose Jamaica now. This is wrong. And I heard Dr. Dawes on Partner Draw TV. And one of the things that he said to the host was, don't focus on those people. Focus on the drill. Just the drill and the cost of the drill.
Yeah, that's dog nonsense. But I also want to let you know that I bid on contracts here. I am what you call, I have a company, and I'm what you call a DVBE, a disabled veteran business and enterprise, and I bid on government contracts.
Yeah,
the markup ain't that steep. You know, no agent in any government entity here is going to accept a markup that's significant. Like your markup is somewhere hovering around 20 to 30%. No agency here is going to accept that, and I have government contracts.
Okay, you should, but
the
Bible where we go by tell us say you know if you charge 100% per nothing, you know. Much less 200%.
Exactly.
So somebody got to talk to the people about this. And I hear them, you know, Dr. Wayne Henry. I hear Wentworth Charles. They all go to Nationwide. Forward over here, sir. We want to ask you some real questions.
But where is Marlon Morgan winning crocus bag of words?
You know,
where is he with his crocus bag of words? He can't defend that one.
You know, I talked to him Thursday, but I never asked him about the drill. Because Marlon Morgan don't answer questions up front. And that is what annoys me with these people. You can't ask them a question and them just answer the question. Because they are such spin doctors. They don't answer questions straight.
No, man, make him come with him crocus bag of words, man. Because we want the people them put him in our box. Because you want them are going to lose the election and them are going to in one box. Right? Them are going to in one box with the people who are going to just put them in and them are going to just stay there.
You sure I don't want to sell them go in?
Because
me have a whole heap of information, you know. Sometimes I come here, me have to hold my tongue, you know, if you know, talk on something, you know.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that go down in this country, you know. You have the small matter of Roel Reed. You have the small matter of Grace McLean. You have some matters there, you know, that some other people are involved in, you know. And they are trying to hold these down, you know. And I am saying to the average Jamaican, with all the corruption that has gone down under this administration, you know what the third term mean for them? Covering up those corruption and stealing more. That is what the third term mean for them. And turning this country into a dictatorship when you're trying to control the media. But tell too late.
Last thing, Colin, but before I free up the line, I'm wondering why the PIOJ report took you guys by surprise, because Andrew Olness did came out and say that he's willing to do anything to prevent, you know, the PMP from winning another election. So I'm wondering why it took you guys by surprise that they would fudge the numbers.
Let me take this call.
And are you?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning, Colin.
Why me did I hope a Marlon Morgan?
Oh no.
Walk on.
Yes. who is going to prosecute them? Because based on current events, the DPP isn't
no man, this DPP gone by I think August, you know, or September, somewhere about this DPP gone, you know.
Right, because if we don't have a DPP that is patriotic to the country, we won't get it.
Well, we expect to have a good DPP in short order.
Well, I hope so.
Because there are still people with integrity in this country. Yeah? And I want to big up the people at the Integrity Commission. You saw former Judge Seymour Panton. You saw those people stood up. Yeah?
Yes,
so there are still people on this island with integrity. People who look out for the country, who have been and always have been choosing Jamaica. Not like these set of clowns now who are now telling us to choose Jamaica. We have chosen Jamaica long time.
Yes, and I love my country. This is one of the best places in the world.
But we have to stamp out corruption.
Yes.
We have to stamp out corruption. We have to stamp out these kind of politicians that are willing to lie. Because remember, you know, brother, the 28th of March, Prime Minister Andrew Olness told us that poverty for 2024 was 12.1%. And then they cook up some numbers now.
Yes, to 8-point-something%. It's ridiculous.
Rubbish. They forgot what they put out.
Yes, Colin, before you continue, you had said that your friend child had passed away because of the ventilator. I'm not sure.
Yes, grandson, the brethren grandson,
right,
died at Bustamante Children's Hospital.
Right, because I was on a TikTok program and I had mentioned it, so I just wanted to confirm that yes, that did happen.
Yeah, man, they were waiting on a ventilator because whatever ventilator the hospital had was being used at the time.
Yes, but look at it. We got so much money, donations for ventilators and oxygen. So where are all these equipments gone?
Jamaican vibes say, Colin, they are not clowns, they are thieves. Bunch of thieves.
Yes, they are.
Yes. Yes.
And they want to shut us up and drive us in fear, you know, by saying, oh, we're going to sue you. It's like I can't speak the truth.
Did you look at the cost for the drill? Want to hear from all the people who have
Yes,
researched.
man. This has been going on a long time, Colin. I'm a businessman. I sell import hardware products distribution to other stores, right? So I know how the process goes, right? But the thing is, the procurement office, who's going to be held accountable in that department?
Listen, I am calling for the custom declaration form to be made public.
Yes.
The custom declaration form. I hope somebody put in a ATI already to custom to get that declaration form.
Right.
For that drill. Because this can't go so. And they are trying to frighten Dr. Dawes. Well, so far so good. Dr. Dawes is standing up.
Standing firm,
and,
right.
And
I am so appreciative.
Like a friend of mine, Jeffrey Tavares, said to me this morning that if they sue Dr. Dawes and we need to put up GoFundMe and get the money. But I said to
will donate. I will donate.
But I said to Jeffrey, Dr. Dawes not going to lose the case because truth is a solid defense. Yeah? And Dr. Dawes said that Donovan Williams won the company. If you have 40,000 shares out of 50,000 allocated, then I will won the company.
The majority shareholder.
But you also heard Peter Bunting this morning.
Yes,
said that
since
2023, a law was passed that you must declare all of that So if you have it as trustee, you should have declared it. Mr. Donovan Williams, I have a question for you, sir. Did you declare to the Parliament of Jamaica that you are holding in trust 40,000 shares for somebody in a company doing business with the government of Jamaica?
I jumped for joy when Senator Bunting made that announcement.
Hold on about the change. Hold on there. 8047072. Good morning.
Is that the Colin Bell Show?
This is the Colin Bell Show. Welcome.
Right. Can I speak?
Yes, please.
I'm holding.
Yeah, man, go ahead and speak. Speak loudly.
Right. I am just a concerned citizen of this country.
Yes.
And I have had occasion to go to hospitals recently to visit persons in the public institution.
Yes.
And the situation, they usually leave us feeling very depressed. So I know our health service has a far way to go in terms of efficiency.
Yes.
So this discussion with this machine is something, you know, it's almost impossible to believe what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Because I heard the minister say on a news program 2 days ago that it's all hype and the process was followed, the procurement process. But procurement is not just a process. It's a process to ensure you get the best product at the best price.
Yes.
If you're dealing with process, you have to look at product. And you cannot look at it in a half-measured way and say, yeah, the process was followed. That's rubbish. Total rubbish. I also heard him say, as far as he's concerned, the matter is now closed. Colin, this matter cannot be closed.
Close?
I have seen too much suffering in KPH and UWI. I've seen a lot of it. And when I hear Mr. Tufton talk about matter being closed, I thought he would have said, based on what I've heard so far, there might not be need for caution, but I'll investigate further and come back to the nation. That is how people who are accountable talk.
Is the level of arrogance, my lady. The level of arrogance.
Pronounced the total arrogance. I was driving in my car when I heard it. And I had to stop. I said, am I hearing properly? Am I hearing properly? That, you know, the matter is closed. Who determines when a matter is closed?
You see, no longer the people of Jamaica are the boss. It is the 49 in the parliament who are now the bosses. They are in charge. What they say go. And I want to say to the people of Jamaica, the AGM, the annual general meeting for this company called Jamaica is going to be called. And the people of Jamaica who are the directors of this company will be called upon to choose a new board.
Well, you know, I'm glad that people like you are educating the populace, and I hope persons will just take heed and pick sense out of nonsense. And I'm not asking them to choose politically. I'm just asking them to choose what's best for Jamaica. Because at the end of the day, we're all Jamaicans.
Yes.
All right?
Thank you for your call. Bless you.
Back. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Yes, Colin. Another thing with the fertilizer.
Oh, tell her.
What was the agreement with the Kingdom of Morocco and us?
Fertilizer should be given to the farmers of Jamaica for free. F-R-E-E, free.
Yes, but are we supposed to collect data to send back to Morocco?
Don't remember that part. Don't remember.
Because we have to know the details of this because I mean they gave us so many fertilizer. I mean obviously they would want to know, you know, how it works in our environment.
Definitely.
What's the point?
You would imagine so. You would imagine so. But a whole heap of things, my brother. One love.
Yes, Colin. Keep up the good work.
Yes, man. 8047072. That's the number. Somebody call the Prime Minister. Because the Prime Minister made a statement, you know. And the Prime Minister was saying that based on... Would that clip there from the Prime Minister? Because somebody asked the Prime Minister the fact that poverty gone down, if that are going to make him win the election. Hold on there. I can't play it from right here, so. I can't play it from here, so, man. Hey. Play it. Play it.
Or in any other jurisdiction, in any
Hold
other
on
country.
Hold on.
Such as this historic low in poverty will increase your administration's chances of remaining in government after these next general elections, and if yes, why?
In any other jurisdiction, in any other country, it would follow logically that the voter would reward the government. In our jurisdiction, in our country, there is always, as I've said, the need for the voter to reconcile their lived experience with the data that is provided. And we have to not take it for granted that the voter is making that reconciliation.
The Prime Minister said in any other jurisdiction, you'd have to sort out with the government to deal. Chris.
Good afternoon, Colin.
Morning, my time.
What the hell is going on with this government, boss? Every time I think these morons and these crooks hit a rock bottom, them come up. How can Tufton say those words out of his mouth? That the price don't matter in our poor country. You see the Americans up here, you know what, tying them up in the Congress right now? They might try to reduce costs to run this country.
Of course.
Right? Whether you agree with it or not. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And here you have a poor country. So we're not a rich country. We're a middle income country at best. And you have the Minister of Health saying that the cost of goods don't matter to the taxpayers.
Yeah, man.
They must just fuck it up and shut up.
Yeah, man. The drill.
What kind of arrogance is that?
The drill saving
What kind
life.
of stupidity is that?
Just accept the drill and not worry about the costs.
Colin, within this whole thing, tell you how them scam the Jamaican people. This is the hustle, right?
Yes.
Them have them side hustle with them friends.
Yes.
You know, the ministries them.
Yes.
And them send over the bids to them friend and them friend jack up the price. And that's how it go. Right?
And everybody gets their share.
Exactly.
Yes.
Except the poor people them who get leave to hold the bag and suffer in the hospital them.
Yeah, man. And dead punch here.
Yes, and Colin, before I go, this is why the hospital along Mley can overrun the price because with a man like that and a mentality like that, how can it not have a cost overrun? The man said it don't matter the price of the drill. Listen, I'm a businessman, and everything that comes in and going on my P&L, I have to know. Because I have to control costs.
They don't have to control costs to make a profit, brother. If you allow costs to run riot by your business, where your profit are going to be. And that's why these people don't understand that your expenditure determine your cost, your profit.
It's a cruel act, man. And for say that out loud.
Yeah, man.
Without no regard to the taxpayers of Jamaica, this government must go. It has to go. It can't continue like this.
All right, brother.
Tala.
Hold on. I don't play something for you yet, you know. I don't make no hear Darrell Vaz as a picnic. I don't play the thing for you yet, you know. How much call me I get one time? 90? Hey. Hold on, the brother. Hold on. What go on, my brethren?
Blessing, man.
You ever hear me say on this program that there are parents in Jamaica who can't send them picnic at school? Woo. Eh?
Yeah, that's the time that we're living in now. Basically,
you ever hear some people come on and say a lie, me I tell?
Mm-hmm. You know, just to say that there's a shop. I'm not in Jamaica now. I'm working in shop basically. So by a certain time, I'm down in Jamaica. So there's a shop in my community, and the shop that she runs is that there are many people there that can't afford their basic necessity. You know what the lady have to do? A person bring a toothbrush come, and they buy a squeeze.
And they sell a squeeze.
$20 squeeze.
Yes.
That's the reality. I really think they are telling the reality because people are living day to day.
I hear about it. By a squeeze
Yeah,
of
and
toothpaste.
it's reality. No, I have 2 points. My 2 point is that we know that at the time that the Prime Minister, what he's trying to do, I realize what he's trying to do, and that is why the PNP have to be on the ground. Don't left the ground.
Hold on for me, caller. Hold on. Don't move. Hold on. Hello, morning.
Morning, Colin.
Yes, Marshy.
Hold on, let me hold the line. Make a call and finish.
I don't think. Hold on, let me see if I can go back to that caller. The caller is on a WhatsApp call. Let me go back to the call. Hello?
All right.
Marshy?
Yeah.
You'd have to hang up and call me back. Let me go back to the caller.
All right. Good.
You're not giving me the option to go back to that caller. Yes, sir. Finish up your 2 points.
Yeah, it's when the Prime Minister talk about crime, and he spoke about crime is like, when a man live with a.
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you. Yes, man.
Yeah, it's like a man who is beating up on his wife or his girlfriend for 8 years or 9 years, abusing her, and then when 10 years come now and then 3 months or 4 months he's treating her good. And I said, boy, don't remember the 9 year or the 8 year when me beat you up for. Just remember the 3 months when me I cheat you good for, the 5 months when me I cheat you good for. That is what I get from the police, the Prime Minister talking about it. Crime is down. That is good.
Yes.
But you want us to forget the 9 months, the 9 year or the 8 year of crime and violence. That is ridiculous. You know, that is ridiculous. It can't happen that way. You must be held accountable for the term. All of the days of the year.
You heard Peter Bunting.
All of it.
You heard Peter Bunting say under this government, crime is up 25%. 25%. Yeah. Crime is up 25% under this administration. Talk to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is why we have to, the people have to open up their eyes, because as I said, people, they don't know the reality of the people. These people are so rich, because I think all of these MP right now, they're rich, super rich right now.
Yeah, man, them dog
so
rotten rich, man.
Yeah.
And you're going to see them richness when the election call, when them start roll out the money. So that's why that's why I said to the people this morning, and I want to repeat it. We see them fighting for power, but they know not the hour. So they're bribing with their guns, spear parts, and money, trying to belittle your integrity. They say that what we know is what they teach us. That's why every time they can reach us through political strategy, they keep us hungry. And when you're ready to get some food, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father got to be your enemy. Bob Marley tell we that long time.
Yeah, so that's why we have to aim. The reality right now, they don't know the reality of what is happening to people on the ground. So that is why I said the PNP have to stay on the ground with the people and continue to speak for the people. One more thing is that the country must realize the time that we are in. If they need a change, we have to. This is the only time that I'm not going to get to vote because I'm overseas. This is the only time I'm not going to get to vote. But I wish, tell the truth, I wish you could call it in December, because I would be there in December.
Election is going to be July.
If you hold it out till December, that would be good news for me.
It is going to be July. So what you need to do is just organize your people them down here to ensure that they vote and do the right thing. Big up yourself, my brother.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
One love. 804-7072. Ambush in the night. That's what this government is doing to the people of Jamaica. Ambushing the people. Marshy.
Yes, man.
Talk to me.
You know, I understand that Tufton was in a meeting, and while he was there, somebody was calling, Christopher Tufton, and he now respond. And somebody took him inside and said, Tufton, you hear them call, Him saying hear the talking, but he never remember saying him name, so.
Technology.
Oh, hell, man. You fly with a man guy, India.
And you never know him.
You never know him. You and him got school together.
Hold on. How we go India with again?
CB, another chicken place.
Tala. Don't call him name. Tala. Hey, when last year anything from the Governor General?
They hear so once, sir, it is alleged that a certain doctor
is the Governor General. Is the Governor General okay? That's all I want to know.
It is alleged that a certain doctor.
Marshy.
Yes.
You know, me and the Governor General come from the same community. Did you know that?
I never know.
Yes.
Now you tell me.
The Governor General and my mother went to school. The Governor General and I hail from the same local. We drink the same water. There's a spring in our community named Cata Spring. Or the coolest spring water anywhere in Jamaica. The Governor General and I drank from the same water, spring water. So I am wondering if the Governor General of Jamaica is all right. Is the Governor General all right, Marshy? Can you say?
What I heard, it is alleged that a certain neurosurgeon perform an operation and the Governor General, and nobody sure if he can even walk.
Tell her.
It is an allegation. And if he can walk, he can barely walk.
Me just want to know if the Governor General all right.
It is alleged that that surgeon, whosoever he perform, and it's either they're dead or whatever happened, but them not come back to, because it is alleged that that surgeon don't pass his exam and he shouldn't be practicing.
Me say a four sitting in field. No say no more. Marshy, you have something else you want to talk about?
Listen me now.
Poverty is at its lowest on this island that it has ever been.
8.2%. You must know when people. You must know when people talking to you. You know. You must know when people talking to you. So let us ignore certain things. Let us ignore. Let me tell you something. I tell you something. A lady, my neighbor, asked me, is what smells so? So, you know, me look around and me not see anything. So, me go back inside and the radio was playing. And the lady said to me, say, Mr. Marsh, you play your radio too loud. You know, sir, at the garbage, what Marlon Morgan and the radio talking smell so stink.
Tala.
And they cut off from that. Reggae, say no more.
Reggae girl just sent me a message, say yes, he's from up with place, Fruitful Vale, Portland. Yeah, man, that's where Sir Patrick Colin hails from.
All right. Well, yeah, listen to me now. Listening to this thing with the technologists, who own technologists or what I can tell you, there is a word, it named kleptocracy.
Yes.
It's kleptomaniac. It comes down to embezzlement. It comes down to fraud. It comes down to white collar. Which other one? Them have some more in there. But if you go down a Carnation Market, one next man down there, we tell you, and the abbreviation would be BBRCT.
Tala.
That's how peace the people them is. Mighty God, man. Can you be doing this to poor people? And one question would have asked, why the board of university they changed 2023? What happened to 2 trailer load that thing will come down? They never want certain people to sign off on them. And then the trailer them load them missing. What happened? What take place?
Marshy, there are so much questions.
Well, before me partner, why Tom Tavares, since in the Senate, never want to take Lambert Brown question.
Let me tell you. Bless my eyes this morning. Jason is on the rise once again. The way our earthly things are going, anything can happen. They're sailing on them ego trip, blast off on their spaceship. They are living miles from reality. That's why the price no matter, and $72,000 can pay down on a Pro Box. They have no care for you, no care for me. Bob Marley tell you all of that already, Marshy. Who we are is the Almighty God has blessed us with so many prophets.
Yes.
And we have not been listening. We just a jig to the rhythm, but we now listen to the lyrics. The man say, until the philosophy which holds one race inferior to another. Until the color of a man's eyes is of no more significant than the color of his skin. Words of Haile Selassie, repeated by Bob Marley, but we don't listen.
Listen, you're the music man. Also, Feliciano do a song. I think it's Come Down Jesus. But a local singer that don't have the festival entire with it. But it go like this. Come down, Jesus. Come down and help us. Something to that effect.
Yeah,
but
man.
in any language, in any version,
we
need Jesus now more than ever.
We
can't manage them teeth here. And a man said Jesus would come already, you know. But he's afraid of the Jamaican because even him them would have robbed him.
Tell her, hold on. You did hear the joke about the machine? The man them build a machine at China for catch teeth.
Yes,
you know?
I get it, but nothing wrong if you repeat it. I hear it, but repeat it.
The man them said the man them build a machine at China for catch teeth. And them send it guy England, the first date guy England to catch 100 teeth. Then send it guy US, the first date guy US it catch 80 teeth.
Yes.
Them send it guy Canada, the first day drop of Canada it catch 70 teeth. And them said, no man, the place this machine need to go is Jamaica. And from them said it come at Jamaica. They know you're not more about the machine.
I wonder who thief it.
The man and thief the machine. Yes, John.
Would dangerous, you know.
No.
But on a serious note, you know, Christopher Tufton must be fired effective immediately. Carl Bruce must go to jail. Beat like Monopoly, do not pass, stop, do not collect. Right? Go directly to jail.
Yes.
The government in its entirety should have resigned.
But I have a question for Donovan Williams. Mr. Donovan Williams, Member of Parliament for Central Kingston.
Break the law that he helped to farm.
No, the question for you, sir. Have you declared to the Parliament of Jamaica your interest in medical technologies, the company? Have you declared your interest to the Parliament of Jamaica? Because if you have not, then, sir, Marshy, blessings.
Well on, just before I go, one thing. You still there?
Yes, man.
The journalist that asks Andrew Olness, so like how them get the news that poverty is down, if that will help him to win the election. You know where that journalist that come from?
Nationwide.
The rubber was shut. Whoa. One day him have him job come Monday.
Hold on, you hear Darrell Vaz in the Parliament say picnic can't go to school? Listen this, Marshy. Listen this. Yes. Got enough people it fly over the head. Listen this.
Currently, the JUTC has a subsidized between $150 and $300 Jamaican dollars per student per trip. So that will be $300 to $600 per day per student. And we all know that most rural families have more than one child. In some cases, I have the experience of parents coming to me to seek assistance because if not, they have to decide which one of the children look the brightest and invest the money in that and the rest of them stay home. I see you looking at me, leader, but it's a fact. You may not know it. I'm telling you, and it happens all across.
So tell me something. I want cost that.
Hold on, man. Hold on, Marshall. People in a year. People in a year.
$300 Jamaican per student per trip. So that will be $300 to $600 per day per student. And we all know that most rural families have more than one child. In some cases, I have the experience of parents coming to me to seek assistance because if not, they have to decide which one of the children look the brightest and invest the money in that, and the rest of them stay home. I see you looking at me, leader, but it's a fact. You may not know it. I'm telling you. And it happens all across. So in this new dispensation.
So when we say parents can't send them pitney to school and some pitney go to school 3 days a week, they were saying we're lying. Here is Darrell Vaz, Minister of Transport, now telling you. And I like when it said to the opposition leader, opposition leader, you're looking at me. Opposition leader, you're looking at me. You might not know, but it's a fact.
We know them keep malice with the truth, you know. But the truth is like oil, you know, it's going to float out of his own mouth.
Let me tell you something. One thing me know. You see when Darrell Vaza put cross in point and him have information for layout, him go and lay it out. This, my people, is what is happening in Jamaica, coming from the mouth of the Minister of Transportation right here in Jamaica, making it clear that when we come here and tell you no, say things hard at Jamaica, there are people in Jamaica who can't find a night dinner. There are people in Jamaica who can't send them picnic at school while this government ramp with people money, stealing taxpayers' money, squandering taxpayers' money. I want to talk about we just a run off him out. Listen it again.
And listen. So we want about Edward Siaga. In this sort of one something where people then could have get nutrient bun and them kind of thing there. Siaga not so bad in some cases, you know. And he let it give them money and them money tease the bun, then tease the bench, then tease the book, then tease the money. Megan.
Later, Marsh. Darrell Vaz again.
Currently, the JUTC has a subsidized between $150 and $300 Jamaican per student per trip. So that will be $300 to $600 per day per student. And we all know that most rural families have more than one child. In some cases, I have the experience of parents coming to me to seek assistance because if not, they have to decide which one of the children look the brightest and invest the money in that, and the rest of them stay home. I see you looking at me, leader, but it's a fact. You may not know it. I'm telling you. And it happens all across. So in this new dispensation,
hold on,
the fare for a round trip per student will be.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Portland Spice TV.
On the matter of education, that is my field.
Yes, sir.
And I was listening.
Yes.
And I said to myself, I was having a discussion earlier this week. Over the last 2 years, in East and West Portland, which side would you say had a greater need for a school bus system to move students to school?
No, East Portland, man. No, me did a call for the bus, Sir Will. Remember, say I me did a holler for the JUTC bus.
Hold on. Now, when I look and I saw the new bus rolling out, the bus did come up this side one day, you know, and it drive to show so that everybody can see that the bus is here.
Yes.
However, the problem that the student in the East experience is far greater than the student in the West. And that is not to say that there wasn't a need for a bus in the West. But if it is that you wanted to help the poor people in this parish and you wanted to start a system, which better side would to start it than in the East where the problem was bigger?
Hold on, man. You know why we don't get JUTC bus long time, Wilson? Because I made it a call for it. A laborite, a prominent laborite said to me that Shaka, the pitney them now get the bus now because of you call for it. When it cool off, when we get the bus because you now go get the glory, say you make school bus come up Portland. A senior laborite that you know, that is from your area.
Hold on,
Tell me that.
Hold on. You see the damage that was done to the students who used to reach home 12 and 1 o'clock at night?
Mm-hmm.
That damage not going to be repaired anytime soon, you know.
Those
because
those
what's
students
happening,
have been
is that
damaged.
those students were reaching school 9 o'clock in the morning. That time school start from after 8 and reaching home by 12 o'clock in the night.
And then look, when they reach 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right. And some were transferred to other institutions because parents had a difficulty in being at home and don't know what time their children are going to get back home.
Yes.
Now, I see this rollout at this point in time as nothing but an election gimmicks.
That is what it is. Election gimmicks.
And it's not that I have a problem with a school bus system, because I, for one, even before, always have a problem with the fact that students in Kingston pay $20 to travel on a bus from Greater Portmore to Papine, and a child in Portland have to be paying over $100 from Port Antonio to get up to East to school. I didn't think it was fair, because if the government can subsidize students in Kingston, they could find a way to even subsidize some persons in rural Jamaica.
I used to put it different, Wilson. I used to say that people in rural Jamaica subsidize children in the corporate area because it's our taxpayers' money paid. Subsidized
it's not like
JUTC.
Taxes separated as rural tax as against urban tax.
Exactly.
So it's
all
one
of
consolidated fund.
So I've been saying for a long time.
So the entire country, right?
Yes. Give our children the same chance that those have in Kingston.
But now to come and to put in a system where you in the same parish and you put it along a stretch where the entire Jamaica know that the East have a bigger problem, and you put it where the problem is not as big, and then you want to let it appear as if you care about the people of Portland.
Let me tell you something.
Listen.
Chaka government, Wilson. Chaka government. In the 90s, we had 2 school buses in Portland. One used to run from Hector's River to Buff Bay, and one from Buff Bay to Hector's River. No, they didn't used to cross, but one used to come down from Hector's River. You remember that big wide Tata bus? Big, long, and wide?
Mr. Don was the one who used to drive that bus. Mr. Don was the name of the man.
All right. And then one used to come from west, where Soji from Buff Bay used to drive. That used to come through Shrewsbury. That is the one me used to travel upon. 2 school buses used to be here. So let nobody frighten on the like of the first school bus that come up Portland. No ramp.
No, but you see, because we are in the social media age, it's all about putting up a good photo. A photo experience is what is important. Mm-hmm. And then you have persons outside the parish and outside of Jamaica who are commenting on what is happening, and they do not understand what is really happening on the ground. They just see a photograph.
And there's a next thing. There's a next thing with vex me, Wilson. The children in Kingston have brand new buses with air condition. And you go buy all used bus car, come give my picnic them when you have no air condition. So when rain start fall, what go on? What go on another bus when rain start fall?
Well, The only thing when I think about when I recognize, because initially, remember the buses were announced as private owners giving the MP to help out the parish of Portland.
Yes.
And then only to learn that these buses are actually going to be run by JUTC. So it's our taxpayer money is going to run these buses. I am saying we know for a fact that a bus that is going to run every day, it is better to start with a new one than a used one.
Of course.
But as it is, I am only hoping that these buses, when they do come, will be able to be consistent and we don't have them running 3 or 4 days per week.
Talk to me.
Because that would not really solve the problem that we are facing now. And I'm not saying that that is going to be the case, but everybody know that if you buy a new vehicle, the time that you take to go to the part shop is going to be longer than if you buy a used one.
Exactly. You buy a new bus, you're going to get a good 5 years before you start having downtime. Right.
But to be honest, we have to face this. I don't think the government really and truly, value the persons in rural Jamaica as they should, Rural Jamaica only become important when election time is coming and they want seat counts.
Yes.
So the decisions that are made are not generally long-term decisions. It's just to say, these are my people and this man have these people locked, so I'll be able to get the seat to get to my magic number.
Yes.
But we have to get to the point where, as people in rural Jamaica, that we demand proper development and proper planning. Because, for example, the schools in rural Jamaica are begging for development and maintenance, and nobody is coming forward to actually do something about it. There are schools that have repairs that's supposed to be done from Beryl that not start yet.
Talk to me. Tell
her. And listen, we are moving into summer, and if it is that there's no plan to repair it for summer, when it is going to be done? And presently, I am not of the opinion that the government is at this point thinking about issues like that. They are more thinking about to do things that will give them vote.
That's what they're focusing on right now.
They are shoring up their base.
Yes.
Rather than developing the constituency in a sustainable way.
Wilson.
And we as a country will pay for it. Because guess what?
Dearly.
Listen, all the money that is going to be spent by now on the election, we have to earn back that money. So it means that at the end of the process, we are going to be poorer rather than better.
Little more.
Hello?
Little more.
Mr. Bell,
yeah,
before
man.
you go, there's something else.
Yes.
I want you to ask Ralston the next time you speak to him. Why is it the public sector workers in Jamaica whose contract has been up since March 31st they are not hearing anything at all from the government about the new contract? Is it that they plan to have a wage freeze after the election? Or is it that at this point they are not in a position to pay any money to anybody? Because based on my understanding with the previous minister, he was saying that they don't want to be in a position that they will be forced to pay any retroactive. So what they wanted to do was to move from one contract to the next. So it's a smooth process.
Right.
But the workers' groups have submitted their claim from last year, October, November. We are now in May, and we still do not hear any response from the government as it relates to how much they are willing to give, and or if they are in a position to give any, what is going to happen. So I want Rastan to tell us if in the present budget, if funds were allocated for that purpose. So the next time you speak to him,
I will ask
just ask him for me if there is funds in the present budget to deal with salary increase, because the entire public sector is presently working without a current contract.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Blessings.
Many of you know the family members or one of the schoolmates of the children that have been in a terrible accident down here in Port. After losing so many children, I was, as someone who used to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning to walk 3 miles to catch a bus to go to high school. Rural transportation is something that is dear to my heart. Because in Kingston, you have JUTC that is subsidized. Many of us parents in here pay more money for our children's transportation than we pay for their school. Rural transportation, and I am happy that the Minister Garamba, the action man, is in charge of that portfolio, because they have already seen 100 more buses added to the fleet. And tonight, I want to say to you that because of my commitment and knowing the pain of walking,
hold on,
and walking back home after that, we have procured 2 school buses. Walking back home after that, we have procured 2 school buses for each school. The buses will be paid for and maintained by the private sector. We will be having a meeting with the minister.
So you just heard her saying it. The buses will be paid for and maintained by the private sector. But now it's JUTC. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, one shaka.
Me there, you know.
But you know, when we can the statistic when them put out the other day. You see?
Yeah.
About it was the 21 to 23 stats, right?
That poverty, about poverty?
Yeah, the poverty.
Yeah, man.
So 1 to 23 to 24 to 25. This is how we live in presently.
Yeah, them not put out 24. Them put out
So
23.
So how can a prime minister come on and try to brag on a 2023, 2021 to 23 stats when we live in a 20?
No, it's 2023. They give each year stands on its own. So they give you the stat for 2015, 2016, 2017. They never give you 2020. And then they said 2023 poverty was down to 8.2%.
Yeah. So I'm to 2024, 2025.
But what I'm saying to you, no man, it's just 2023. Each year they are giving you for the calendar year, not for the financial year.
Yeah.
So each year stands on its own. So 2023 was January to December 2023. And they are saying that that year is down 8.2%. However, I want to remind you that in the Prime Minister's budget presentation, which was on the 28th of March, he told us on the graph that he put up that in 2023 poverty was 12.3%. So I'm asking the question, who should we believe? Should we believe the Prime Minister or should we believe Wayne Henry? Who should we believe?
Big question. A big question.
Yeah, man.
But when we say we can't live in a 2025 and you can give about 2023.
Yeah, but you know, say it's just something to nice
in
up.
2025.
It's just something to nice up.
2024.
The Prime Minister in his budget presentation, the graph said that poverty in 2024 was 12.1%.
Okay.
So we're calling Wayne Henry to the front of the class. Dr. Wayne Henry, we're calling him to the front of the class because we want to know which one of these figures to believe. Because even the Prime Minister figure said it was coming from the PIOJ. So it was also Wayne Henry's figure.
Okay.
But
how in can have two different figures?
Then that way I tell us you can't believe the man them. The man, they are just a set of liars. They are just a set of liars. Lie them lie, brother.
Brother, destroy them and them want destroy this, you know. If we not do what we do and get out them man,
yeah, man.
The future, we youth them now have a future, you know.
Bob Marley tell you, say they come bribing with guns, spare parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity. They say that what we know is just what they tell us. And every time they can reach us through political strategy. That's what they're happening now, brother. Listen some Bob Marley, not just listen to the rhythm. Listen to the lyrics. He has been warning us. Time come.
A real thing, brother.
Yes, man.
Yeah, man, we have to get rid of them people, brother.
All right.
What's up?
Big up yourself. Time come.
A real thing, brother.
Yes, man.
Big up man, yourself. we have to get rid of them people, brother.
All right.
What's up?
Big up yourself.
Yes, bro.
I want to thank Ralston Iman, thank Peter Bunting, thank Head Boy who came in this morning and chimed in. Thanks to all the people in the chat room, all the callers. And I want to say to the people in the chat room that the timer that is on the chat room, we can't take it off. It's a reason why it's there to protect the channel. Because you see, this channel is a bad channel. This channel here, we talk the truth. And we are talking the truth in a country that the present set of leaders have dictatorship tendencies. The present set of leaders have dictatorship tendencies. So we have to protect the channel from trolls. We see them coming on from time to time. I want to get tired of them and cuss them out. Why the timer is on the chat room is to protect from them because they know what they can do if we move the timer. Yeah? So protect the channel. If you realize we lessened it this morning. So I want to thank everybody in the chat room for your understanding. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We invite all followers of this channel to become an ambassador. Send the link to all the people in your contact. Ask them to subscribe and like the channel. Click the notification bell that whenever we are on, you are on, because we are going to be on more often. As time draw nigh, we have the link to everybody in the People's National Party. We welcome everybody from the Jamaica Labour Party to come on to this channel and answer real questions. Don't go to the places where they are petting and pampering you and you give them the question. People don't recognize those as credible interviews. Come over here, Prime Minister Andrew Olness. Come give me an interview. Answer some questions as it relates to your statutory filing and the fact that the Integrity Commission has not certified you for 3 years going into 4. Come to this channel, Prime Minister Andrew Olness, and tell us why you want to struck down illicit enrichment from the laws of Jamaica. Come to us over here, Andrew Olness, and tell us why you failed to have set election day within the first 100 days. Come over here, Dr. Andrew Olness, and tell us why you said that you believe in term limit, but now you're asking for a 3rd term. Come over here, Dr. Tufton, and tell us how Cornwall Regional reached $20 billion from $2 billion. We have questions for you. Come over here, Matthew Samuda. You came to Boston and tell us that you find a new place to dig a well up there in Fairhill so the people can get fresh water from you. Said that up there. We know you're not more about it. Come over here, Dr. Dana Dixon Morris. We have questions to ask you about the education sector. Come over here. Make we ask you some real questions. Tala, time come for a new direction. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you all. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again. Yeah, man. We're ready for now. Deal with the troll like we and Lonesome. No, everybody do them thing different. Yeah, we have some conferences coming up. Wednesday is the Hope Bay and St. Margaret's Bay Divisional Conference. That will be in Fruitful Vale. Thursday will be the Fellowship Divisional Conference. That will be at Windsor Primary. Check them out. Enough respect, everybody. Don't say never. Don't say he will never come. You're not sure. You're not sure. We're looking forward to having him one day. One love, my people. Until we meet again Tuesday evening, right here on Portland Spice TV. Stay safe.